I have one more question related to the Second Amendment. Just last week, President Trump announced a ban on bump stocks is coming. In fact, during a news conference at the White House, he said, "We are knocking out bump stocks. I have told the National Rifle Association bump stocks are gone." Bump stocks, of course, allow semi-automatic weapons to operate like a fully automatic gun, but some gun advocates oppose the president on this issue. Under any conditions, Congressman Blackburn, you first on this one, would you consider restricting or banning military assault-style weapons or any device that could modify firearms in this way?
Thank you for that. And I will tell you, this is something that the House has already done. And of course, one of the reasons I'm running for the Senate is because the place is dysfunctional and they don't get around to taking up some of the things that are there that they ought to be taking up. Dealing with bump stocks is a great example of that. You know, hearts were just absolutely broken with what happened in Las Vegas. And you had the Nashville community, the music community, very affected by that. But if you had the Democrats and the Washington Democrats in control, they will tell you one of the things that they want to do is to diminish your Second Amendment rights. That is not what Tennesseans want. Now, Phil would be there, right there with the Washington Democrats, and he was at Michael Bloomberg's last night. That is a focus of gun control. Tennesseans want to make certain that we do this the right way.
Governor Burtison, your turn. Under any conditions, would you consider banning military assault-style weapons or devices that can turn them into that?
Well, first of all, the bump stocks turn weapons into something I think which is more effective, more dangerous than a straight military-style weapon, because it involves a much more rapid kind of fire than you can get with one of these assault rifles. I absolutely believe the bump stocks ought to be banned. It's a good example of reasonable restrictions that help keep and protect our Second Amendment rights. I think the cat is out of the bag, as it were, with the assault weapons. There are somewhere between 10 and 20 million of them in the country today, and absent, with that as a fact, I just can't see where that could ever possibly be practical. I also know an awful lot of people who enjoy owning them and enjoy using them for hunting, and I think do not represent any danger to anyone. I just want to reaffirm one more time that I strongly support the right of any citizen to own weapons subject to reasonable restrictions like we've described.
Congressman, you get 30 seconds for a rebuttal.
One of the things we want to do, as I said, is make certain that we protect the Second Amendment. This is what Tennesseans continue to say to me. Let's protect people in our public spaces. Let's make certain that we harden our schools, that we use new technologies on those schools, but that we protect the Second Amendment. And I am, again, endorsed by the NRA, have an A rating from the NRA, and look forward to continuing to work with the Fraternal Order of Police on public safety.
Final say, 30 seconds in your rebuttal, Governor.
Simply to say again that, I really believe that Americans, there are a lot of Americans who, from all different parts of the political spectrum, this is not a Democratic Republican issue or a liberal conservative issue, who enjoy and treasure the right to own arms, understand that there should be reasonable restrictions on things like bump stocks and the stuff we've talked about before with mental health. And to me, that is a sound place to do. I do not think this is a partisan issue.